Hitler survivor has just 7 words for liberals equating Trump to Nazi leader. A German woman who survived Nazi leader Adolf Hitler's tyrannical reign, lived in a refugee camp, and fled to America has noticed that liberals love to compare President Donald Trump to Hitler. However, when asked about the similarities between the two, she had just 7 words that completely shocked leftists. Before Inga Andrews escaped Hitler's final solution, the Holocaust, she and her mother were forced to survive the catastrophic events brought about by the Nazi Party's socialism and racial hatred. For decades, her harrowing experience has been locked away in her mind's eye. However, it was recently awakened when angry liberals began combating Trump's travel ban and other executive orders with easily repeatable slogans that equate Trump to Hitler. Now, Andrews feels the duty not only to dismiss the dramatic propaganda that compares the two leaders but also to point out who really represents everything that encompasses Hitler and his Nazi militants. When the Independent Journal Review asked Andrews about her thoughts on leftists saying that Trump is a dictator much like Hitler, she not only refuted this mistruth with personal experience, she explained that it's the destruction of freedom of speech from the liberal protesters that resembles Hitler and Nazi Germany. What is going on in this country is giving me chills. Trump is not like Hitler. Just because a leader wants order doesn't mean they're like a dictator, Andrews told IJR. What reminds me more of Hitler than anything else isn't Trump, it's the destruction of freedom of speech on the college campuses, the agendas fueled by the professors. That's how Hitler started, he pulled in the youth to miseducate them, to brainwash them. It's happening today. Andrews added that she recognizes the liberal bias in the school system, especially on college campuses, and says that it's breeding the same intolerance and fascism that gave rise to Hitler in the 1930s. In addition, Andrews has actually lived through a travel ban even stricter than Trump's when her mother married an American. Still, she believes that liberals should have a respect for these measures as our national security depends on them. It took 6 years to clear her to be able to be married, she said. Then when you married an American, because we were the enemy, you had to wait. We had to go from Heidelberg to another city where camp was. They vetted us in both places. There were all these German brides with their children and families who had to be vetted again for 3 of 4 days before they could get on the ship. So we had a vetting process like what we are going through now because you have to have this to make the country safe. As for the liberal protesters, Andrews says that because of their emotionally driven activism, they have abandoned logic and reason. She remembers the desperation democratic socialism caused, including times when she only had maple leaves and grass to survive, something she says these leftist millennials have never had to endure. In short, equating Trump to Hitler is more of an insult to her and the millions who suffered and died during Hitler's reign. Professors shouldn't be telling their students to go after freedom of speech, she said. They should be telling them that this is the greatest country in the world. I see what is happening here reflecting some of the things we saw in Germany, and it's terrifying. It's sad. But it's not because of Trump. It's because of poor education. Trump is not like Hitler. The theory that he is propaganda. Yes, I lived through some of Nazi Germany, but all you have to do is read some books about that period to see how wrong that theory is. Andrews added a harsh but much-needed message to the liberals who are protesting against Trump and believing that bullying and violence will get them what they want. America needs to grow up. The young people who are rioting and destroying property, who have no respect for elders and freedom of speech. I was so proud to become a citizen of this country, she said. Andrews knows from personal experience that America is an exceptional country because of the constitutional rights liberals often protest against. She easily identifies the parallels between the liberal movement in America and that of Nazi Germany.